just a delivery task in Harbor, Quebec. Hello there everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of SnowRunner here at Overfed Gaming. Today we are driving our Sleiter ST 833 Chimera and we're trying to finish the task of just a delivery. Now we needed to bring over 2 bundles of metal beams and 4 metal rolls, of which we still got 1 metal beam and 1 metal roll left to deliver. Now we're picking them up at the factory and we're going to go and deliver them to the port warehouse, which is a little ways down the road. We got to do a little bit of ice road driving and we're going to do a little bit of four-wheeling over ice and rocky terrain. But we are just starting out as we're leaving the factory here, and we are driving in our Chimera that has no chains. And like I always try to remind people, which basically is trying to remind myself, that when you're driving on a road on an ice map like this and the road's not covered, you should consider that that road is an ice road. So chains would be preferred, but not necessarily needed if you take your time and you're careful. Now that's what we're going to try and do, because some of these here corners, I've driven around them before in this truck on different jobs, and you do slide unless you really slow down. So that's what we're going to do here. Just take it a little bit easy. As you can see, it's pretty shiny road. But taking your time, you're going to get there maybe a few seconds later, but that's okay, as long as we get it delivered. Luckily enough, in earlier jobs, we managed to fix all the bridge that connects this main artery, this highway, throughout the whole map. We had a lot of bridges to repair, but now we can drive freely from one end to the other, or get off wherever we need to. Now, we got a few little areas like this where we got some snow drifts, and there again, like I said, the Chimera doesn't have any chains on it, and sometimes it slows them down a little bit, but it doesn't stop them. We're going to keep going here as we're closing in on that bridge, and on the other side of the bridge, we got to take a sharp a sharp turn to the right, and then we're going to be going off-road and doing some four-wheeling just up ahead. Now we got a little bit more cargo than we needed. We got the 1 bundle of metal beams and we put on 3 rolls of metal, and we only need 1. But we're going to be using those other 2 rolls for a different job, which is on the other side, so we're just bringing them along. Figure we got the room on the trailer, why not just put it on there and take it with you. Now when you come off the bridge here, try and drive a little close to the left-hand side, because you're going to have to take a hairpin to the right. Like I said, I try to get my trailer as far over to the left as I can, and just kind of even try to overshoot the corner a little bit. That way I don't have to jockey the truck around. And it seems to work okay. Just able to get around the corner. Now right up ahead here is a detour. They had a snow slide and it covered the whole road and part of the ditch on the other side. Now we can either go to the right and down the hill, and it just makes like a little loop and pulls back up and joins back up onto the factory. There's an oil refinery factory right at the end here, and it'll just come back up. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to go around the bottom. We're going to go four-wheeling and go straight through this snowdrift. If the Sleiter can do it, which would be awesome, he's going to be one of my trucks that we're not going to be getting rid of, because this is a tough drive here with a full trailer. But if you stick to the lowest parts, don't worry about the trees, because you can go right over top of that. The thing that you got to worry about is keeping that trailer level. You don't want it to tip too far to one side or the other. That's why I'm kind of driving my truck right in the ridge there. And that way everything stays fairly straight, and the Sleiter doesn't seem to need chains in the snow, as you can see. He just chugs right through them. And by going this way, by going over the snow slide, you cut out a huge, the detour was probably about 3 times this long at least. And it's a very doable detour, but like I said, you got to go around, and you should give it a shot. You know, it gives you a different point of view, and it makes you see a little bit more of the map, and it's kind of cool. So here we are going through the Pétrole Quebec refinery, and if you took the detour, you would have come in from the right-hand side and come straight across. Anyhow, we are now at the top right-hand corner of the map, and we just got to go across the top. And we've done this a few times with different vehicles. I can't remember if I ever pulled the big trailer through here with the Sleiter before. I don't think I have. So it's going to be a new experience for us. Now over here it's not too bad. It's just mostly snow and mud. But up ahead we got a small lake that we got to get past. It's going to be a little bit of a different adventure for us. The Sleiter seems pretty capable. There's many different configurations you can set up for it. Obviously, there's a crane available for it, a flat deck. There's a 2-slot flat deck, and also a 3-slot cargo extended flat deck for this truck. So there's a few different things you can do with it. Driving through trees, however, isn't one of them. So we didn't take the turn. We didn't go around it quite wide enough. But that's okay. Back her up and then just kind of drag it a little bit wider, and it'll be okay. Now, as we're coming around the corner here, we're going to be seeing the lake right out in front of us. We can already see part of the port buildings up ahead there. We're just going to slowly drag it through this last little part of the mud. Now, when you come up this little ledge here, there's 2 ways you can go. You can go a little bit to the left and go over the lake, or you can stay to the right and go over a little bit of a rocky ridge. Now both routes are tough, not easy to do. You know, so it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Which one you want to try? This one is a tough one, so we're going to show it to you. Where you got to stay pretty close to the right-hand side. You can't see it until you're right there. You can see there's a turn that just goes around the outside of the rocks there. There again, like I always say, just go slow. You know, you look like you're going to slide off. Now you know you're not going to make that turn. So just back it up just a little bit. There we go. Worst comes to worst, you can drag that trailer just beside the rock, just like that. But see, if you go a little bit too fast, I'm sure it wouldn't take much to slide off the side of the rocks there. So we just take our time. Take our time, and we slowly get through it a little bit at a time. And then once you get over here, you have no choice. You have to go onto the lake, onto the ice. And there again, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know, oh, big shards of ice, you gotta watch out for it. But you know that when you're looking at the ice, you can see the difference between the breakaway and what looks like it's solid. So just go slow, take your time. If it starts to fall through, back up and just change your direction a little bit, and you'll be okay. Now the entrance to the port is just up ahead there. And the warehouses, you just got to go a little ways in, and it won't be where the warehouse is. So it looks like it's going to be another successful delivery. Absolutely love driving this truck. This is one fantastic truck. You should give this guy a shot if you have him in your fleet already. If not, see if you can get him somewhere down the road and give him a shot. Anyhow, really enjoyed this delivery, and I hope you did too. I hope you got some tips and tricks out of it. Until the next time, you've been driving in a Sleiter ST 833 Chimera, delivering the one last metal beam, bundle of metal beams, and the one last roll of metal over to the port warehouse, with me as your driver, the Overfed.